or I
Okay,
forget.
so
Okay, so
okay. Yeah,
So
I don't see total. We had um about 22 people. Aaron, I don't know if I would have recognized you. We did cross paths in Chicago, but yeah, and I still have the banner almost sitting at my feet of yours. So one day it will get back to you. Okay.
yeah, I'm kind of wondering where all of our banners are. I think they're in Idaho. So, and now I'm getting ready to go to San Antonio and they're asking, will you bring some banners? And I'm like, oh no.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm saying hey again. And don't worry, now you can hear my puppy barking.
That's okay.
She wants to be part for sure.
Okay. Okay. And Gary looks like he's still out for a walk. Did my walk quickly and back here with my coffee, and yeah, so it was a nice night for a walk.
So I'm guessing that it's nice in at least in Ontario area.
where's Gary? Have you seen
Oh
his
my gosh,
view?
today was 32 degrees here. It was well, so what would that be? 60, that's
That's
About 84.
90, yeah, 90s. It was
Wow.
gorgeous yesterday and today. Yeah.
All
I'm
weekend,
sitting,
actually.
yeah, I'm sitting on a heater myself.
The air conditioning's going, actually.
It looks like it's cold where Gary is.
He's got a hat on, yes, so I don't think
But we can't hear
Gary,
you,
where are
Gary,
you?
because you're muted.
And then we'll get started. Okay.
And
Okay,
he's
we'll
just
give
shown
it-
us a beautiful view, whatever he's looking at, like a
Yeah.
castle or something.
So I'm at
Cathedral?
a Ukrainian Catholic church. We're preparing to do a medieval festival in the summer, and it's a whole bunch of work. So, but the site is incredible for that event. So you can sort of see the
Yeah.
size of that.
Cool.
But then there's this unusual big building behind us that, so we have jousters and the whole 10 yards
Sounds like, so where are you?
in Winnipeg, Manitoba, out in a little
Winnipeg,
town
okay.
called Cooks Creek.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce Hazel. She's on here. You'll see Manor House. She's my right arm with everything. Her camera is off, but that's okay. I just want everybody to say hey to Hazel. She
Mhm.
was in Chicago at the World Parliament, so a lot of you would have met her there. But as all of us are probably doing multitasking many things, so
Okay.
she's on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
why don't we start? And since there's just like 9, 10 of us, it might be good if we just go around real quickly and just say who we are, where we are in the world, in Canada, and then what drives your passion for compassion?
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Mm,
Okay, so I'm going to start with Merida because she's first on my screen. It's a way that I keep track or try to keep track of who I'm calling on.
Okay, so I'm Merida McCarthy. I'm not in Canada.
Oh,
I'm in Monterrey, Mexico. And it's very, very hot here today. We went up to 45 degrees probably. And it's humid, so it's very horrid. But my house is cold, so that's nice. And what's my passion for compassion? My passion for compassion is my passion and it's my life. And I have been part of this movement since I met Marilyn in 2016 here in Monterrey, and through the Encuentro Mundial de Valores, which is something you're going to be hearing about very soon. So I'm not going to give any more information, but I look forward to seeing you all here, hopefully.
great. Okay, Marge, you're next on my screen.
Okay, so I'm Marge Andre. I'm a volunteer with the staff. So as I said to some of you early on, that I do pop into the Monday morning meetings, and so I'm updated about what is happening. I'm part of the team for Compassion New York Region, which we then also have Compassion Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill is a confirmed compassionate city. It was declared such, thanks to Sarah and Councillor Silovitz, who voted for that movement. So I do a lot of work within the community, connecting it up. That's why my community connector is my name there. I've taken on the role, not doing as well as I'd like, but tonight I think we're gonna move forward with that. But really having Canada be compassionate. So connecting up with people and such. So got a big job. I really do hope, and I'll ask you guys later at the end of the meeting, should we really take this forward and have Canada recognized as a compassionate country? There's a compassion, USA is compassionate, Australia is compassionate, so Canada ought to be also regarded as a compassionate country. Okay, so.
Okay, Donald, healthcare, the map of co-creators, a number of, right? Am I right? When
I'm
you were
sorry?
on, yeah, okay.
Oh, I was on a number of different things
Yeah,
over
right.
the last several years. I was the co-chair of the health team here as a patient family advisor. I've done a lot of work with the Ministry on Social Determinants of Health, among other things. It's been a couple of years, I know. My mom just passed away not too long ago. She was my primary. I was taking care of her as I did my sister, my dad, my brother, and so on. So it's been quite a travel throughout Canada, taking care of my family. What's my passion for compassion? I don't, or a passion for compassion. I really don't know how to explain it because empathy is a reflex for me. If I see somebody in trouble or see somebody that needs some help, or have that sense of, it's just a reflex to go over and connect and have a conversation, regardless of what that is. I live downtown in Barrie here in Ontario, and I take my walk every day and speak to a lot of the people that are homeless and so on. And because healthcare is not necessarily my background, but I can put them in touch with clinics and things like this with all the things that are happening to them on the street. So that's some of the things I do. But like I say, it's been a few years since I've been in the meeting. So
No, I think it was last year, and
oh, was it last year? Yeah.
and I think your empathy leads into action, which is compassion, which is a kind act. So you're covering the whole triangle there. So welcome
Thank you.
back.
Oh, thank you.
Martha.
Hello,
Hello.
Marta, actually. I'm actually part of Marge Andre's Connecting the Community that meets every Tuesday morning, and also part of a Compassionate Richmond Hill, Compassionate York Region as a result of all of that. I'm very active. I'm part of the executive of Climate Action Richmond Hill. So to me, just doing anything to do with the climate is compassionate, because we need to be compassionate with our earth and saving it from all of the terrible things that are happening. That's my background.
Thank you, Martha. Gary probably is the person I've known the longest that's on this Zoom call.
Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, so I'm a retired lawyer, and I guess the work I do is more in the peace and human rights area, but I think they all come in towards compassion. I've been working on that for over 12 years, and have stayed close enough to the charter to, admire it and trying to help bring it along in our own little way here in Winnipeg. And I work a lot with the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, which is located in Winnipeg and is quite an incredible place. And I have a number of different, kind of roles, but mostly human rights, but also international development. And I'll leave it there for now. But maybe I'll just mention, I sent to you, I think, Marilyn, a copy of our Peace Days annual report from last year. And, maybe if Marge is doing that work, I'd be interested in sharing it with her. And then, later in the conversation, we could talk a little bit more about this year, maybe.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gary. And Erin has a long history with the charter as well. And she'll tell you all about that. But first she's going to turn on her mic.
I think I'm zoomed out today. I'm not sure how many Zoom meetings I've had today, and I think I've been told every single time to unmute. Hey, everybody. It's great to be here. My inspiration came from the World Peace Summit in 2009. I went to the Vancouver World Peace Summit, and that's where the Charter for Compassion was basically announced. And I was exasperated by it. I didn't know what to do with it because my kids were 4 and 7 at the time. And I just thought it was an awesome initiative. So came back to Toronto and thought, oh my gosh, I have to reach out to everybody I know and connect. And ironically, the Children's Charter for Compassion was not even really on the horizon, because I think the Charter for Compassion was such a big thing. So I created the children's version in 2009, and it has been utilized globally. There was the TEDx Youth in Ottawa and Amsterdam featured the Children's Charter, so it was pretty cool. There's 2 activity books. It's a great resource in our school boards, in our classes, everywhere. Recently, I've realigned, I think Marilyn and I kind of reconnect every year on something. So we'll get into artistic bridges a little bit later. And I've aligned with Jamaican schools now, and speaking, I think it was Marta, about the environment. We're also aligned with Sandals organizations very recently and their environment initiative. So my passion for compassion came purely based on my own children, and decided that we needed a children's version of the big version. And that's how it all started.
Great. Thanks, Erin. Sarah Jamal, who we miss terribly at the Charter. Are you going to talk to us, or are you just going to, I know you're staying off camera, but maybe she's not there. We'll go then to Councillor Karen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Stilovitz, the Ward 5 councillor in Richmond Hill. I'm in Richmond Hill right now, just around the corner from Marge and Marta. And I've compassion, in my opinion, right now, there can be nothing more important than compassion on every level across the globe. And I've been a supporter of Compassionate York Region from its inception, and I shall continue to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Sarah, you're here.
I am. I was here. So hello, everybody. My passion for compassion came out of personal suffering that was happening in my family I think it was 2013. And I happened to listen to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday and heard Karen Armstrong speak about the Charter for Compassion and just compassion in general. And I had to search it up. And so I affirmed the Charter in 2013. And I believe in 2018, I started volunteering with the Charter with the women and girls sector. And I stayed till 2 years ago when I had to leave my active volunteering, and I introduced Marge to the Charter. And so with Marge in 2021, we co-founded the Compassionate York Region, and which has now evolved into Compassionate Richmond Hill. And I'm still active in promoting the work. So I will always be a part of the Charter. And Erin, you probably don't remember, but like you, I wanted to connect when I first found out, but I reached out to you and we spoke. Well, we connected over email. I wanted to know everything, anyone in Canada who was working with the Charter. So back then you were active, and then I think you took a break. And yeah, so I'm so happy to see you. But yeah, it's wonderful how, connections you've made over the years, and they just keep growing. I like it.
Yeah, I think for me, it got to a point where things were self-sufficient for a while with the activity books, and they were being utilized globally as a resource. So it was, I did take a pause sort of, but a couple of years ago, I thought, okay, we need to redo the activity books. So we revamped them, revised them so that they're relevant and current. And it's great to see everybody, and I did definitely recognize your name and your face, so it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Darcia. You're in the car.
Yeah. So Darcy is my wife, and so she is a lawyer as well. She's just coming up to retirement. I'll let her speak now.
I'm gonna turn my camera off.
Yeah, I think you have a weak signal.
I guess I must have met you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the highway, so I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can hear you right now, and it's better with your camera off.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I met you, Marilyn, when Gary and I went down with a group from Winnipeg years ago with the chief of police. When we went to Louisville with a Winnipeg group and met with the mayor who ran on a platform of compassion.
Right.
So after that, I was involved in trying to get the compassion games going in Winnipeg. I had been in touch with Sandy Hart quite a bit and John Raymer, so back in the day. We also tried to get our mayor on board years ago, and he didn't bite, but the newer mayor seems to be somebody who might be a little more interested in actually going for that. But I'm my job in about a week. But then I'm close to making a final decision on pursuing my master's in the Netherlands. So I probably won't be here, but to get my master's in public international law.
Oh, great.
So yeah, just another chapter of my life.
Well, we have a very.
So I echo whoever said earlier. I echo whoever said earlier that compassion is needed now more than ever. I mean, the world's in kind of a crisis at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let us know about the Netherlands because, the very first European city to sign was in the Netherlands, Leiden. And for a small country, we have, I think, 18 compassionate communities in the Netherlands. So lots of contacts for you there. And if I remember correctly, you are a fond person of one of our former poet laureates, Billy Collins, I think. So I wish I could say greetings from Billy. I haven't seen him for a while, but he is quite the character. So I remember telling him about you a couple of years ago. So on we go. Let's see my screen totally has changed. So I think it's Hazel. Hazel, you're the last to share something with us.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. I'm sorry I'm not on camera. I'm in a very messy house at the moment with dogs and children. But my first interaction with the charter was through Erin. Erin's children and my children are a similar age. And I think as Erin has pursued this over a number of years, she's testament to, I think, that if we can start with children, then that means that we're in the right spot to make sure that as adults, people are taking this all very seriously as opposed to trying to just jump in after so many years. So I think children early is a really good way to bring compassion through. And I love helping Erin. I'm not as smart as her, but I do like working with her, and we have great fun, as well as, helping to introduce this program to lots of people around the world.
Great. Thank you. Katarina, welcome. We were just saying who we are, where we're from, and what is your passion for compassion?
Sure. Yeah, I apologize. I somehow didn't get the Zoom link. I was trying to get in through Google Meet. But anyways, yes, I'm a retired child psychiatrist living in Pickering, Ontario. And since retirement, I've written a couple of books that are at the kind of the intersection between psychology and spirituality. And my most recent one is called Cast No Stones, A Guide to Living in Harmony. So I think quite relevant. And I've always been interested in this type of work since reading Karen Armstrong's books many years ago. Now that I'm retired, I'm hoping to have a little more time to actually do something about that. And I'm new to the charter, so I'm here to learn.
Great. Well, here's what we want to happen. A little bit about the charter and what we're up to. And specifically want to hear from Erin, who has been working with us for the last 6 months or so, as well as Hazel, on a big project called Artistic Bridges. And then we'll just kind of open it up for everyone. I can make what we're doing compact because a lot of it is definitely on the website, which we're constantly updating and bringing in new information. We look at it almost as a Wikipedia of compassion and say that right up front, so that when people come, instead of them saying, oh my God, this is so overwhelming, we recognize that it is overwhelming, but there is gratefully a good amount of things happening in the world regarding compassion. So I'm going to share with you, hopefully, very quickly and not the full deck that I have, but this is where we are, and we've made a multi-year commitment in focusing on what we're about. And so we're calling that commitment Fostering Compassionate Communities. And we're having 4 areas that we're most concerned about. And that is that we want to continue to help people build skills, compassion skills that are both psychological, emotional, practical, organizational kinds of skills. And so we have a course that's called Compassion for Busy People, recognizing that, it is difficult for people to come and go to continuous webinars and try and take content. But the important thing, I think, is that what we're about is what you see there in green. We're all about trying desperately to collaborate and to have and create dialogues with people in an effort to grow. And so that means that we're trying to break barriers, we're trying to build success, and we're really trying to look at common humanity, realizing that the only thing we have is each other. And as Karen Armstrong has suggested very mightily in a number of her talks, as well as in her writing, is we don't have much more than compassion to rely on. And so that's why we're trying to really focus in on what you see in front of you. And the way of doing that is building those skills, but then also promoting dialogue. So we have a second approach called empathic dialogues, knowing that empathy, as we just found out, is that, by feeling something, you can get really bogged down in the feeling. Oftentimes people say, I have compassion fatigue. No, you don't have compassion fatigue. You have empathy fatigue. Your if you work through with empathy and move towards action with compassion, with acts of kindness, then you're really doing what the charter hopefully is all about. The other thing is that we know that as we go through our projects and go through our life, that there are issues that we confront that are difficult to deal with. And so we're working on a whole program called Wicked Issues. How is it that we can help one another solve the kinds of problems that we face? And then a 6-year commitment that we have made to peace by 2030. And we want to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But here are the two people who are doing Compassion for Busy People. They both are trained at Stanford with the C-CARE method of compassion training. They've been teaching at the University of San Diego. And it's just 5 one-hour sessions, although they stay on after each session to continue to talk with people who want to give a little bit more time or can give a little bit more time. The other thing is that we are having these dialogue cafes. And the idea is that you come and, you know, there's topic, and we're trying to utilize podcast as well as other motivating tools to really help people to delve deeper into sharing and deeper levels of listening. And then here's our Wicked Issues. It's 4 2-hour sessions. Glenda Young is the person who's the facilitator, and Glenda has been working with countries primarily in helping to solve problems. And we're calling those problems wicked issues, or just, you know, concerns that really are troublesome and difficult to solve. And one of the things is, and you'll see it in our next newsletter, which you should be getting this weekend, is that Glenda is going to have a kind of pilot program just to help people see what the possibilities around wicked issues are. And then the very last one that we're very involved in is Peace by 2030. We started last Wednesday for our second round of cohorts. In January, we started the first one, and as you can see, they're 8 2-hour sessions. It is a huge commitment. I'm not going to lie to you. And what we're trying to do is to bring groups of people, 3 people in a group together to learn how to build their own skills, organizational skills, skills around compassion and empowerment, and then to zero in on a situation or an issue that they want to deal with in their local community. It could be donut economics. It could be food scarcity, houselessness, any issue that really pertains perhaps geographically to the area in which you're involved. And so you work with this team for the 8 weeks that you're together. But the hope is that you will stay together and continue to work through this issue. And then at the same time, you're trying to think, who else is doing good work in our community? Who else would really be good at forming another triad of people, so that when the next peace game comes along, we'll have another group and another group. And so over a period of 6 years, you can see how this can build. And I would invite all of you. It's free in terms of, you know, you come into it, but, you know, it's a time eater, but it's a constructive time eater because you're in dialogue, deep dialogue with people, you're in deep problem solving with people, and you're having an opportunity to meet many people from around the world. And I'm going to let some of this, Merida, go ahead.
Because this morning, David said we still have 1 week to register people who would, as long as they would watch the recordings and catch up.
Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, it is a little bit of a catch up. And it's called the peace game. I mean, in a way, you know, we're talking about it as kind of an Olympic game, and that's what it's all about, that we keep practicing and we keep honing in on the issue and expanding the possibility of solutions. This is both for Merida and myself. This is our second round of playing the game. We had 15 people to pilot it for the charter in January. Just from Merida's hometown of Monterrey, Mexico, I think we have 15 people. So this round, and a lot of people from the charter, a lot of people from the Rotary are playing the game. And so you have an opportunity to meet all kinds of people. And just to give you the lay of the land, you come in and you talk about, because each one of your weeks centers on practices that you need to do. And, you know, people spend about 20 minutes collectively. In January, we were 154 people. We're close to 100 people for this round. And so, you know, there's no pressure, but anyone who wants to share about, you know, some of the challenges that they uncovered by going through the material for the week, they can do that, or they can talk about their questions or their success. So it's a great opportunity. And then what happens is that we break into groups. And from that breakout session, you learn a lot, and you come to support one another. So a little bit about Peace by 2030, but we want you also to think about, you know, some of the other programs that we have. And the big program is Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is, excuse me.
For just a moment. Is this the Canada chat?
Yes.
Is it still going on for a while?
Yes.
Because Katarina hasn't been able to get in.
She's here.
Oh, okay.
This was an advocate for you, Katarina, who was saying you can't get in. So here you are.
Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So Ubuntu is a documentary that was filmed in 10 countries on the continent of Africa. And as you probably know, Ubuntu is a philosophy that comes out of a number of cultures within the continent of Africa. And it means I am because we are, or I am because you're there. So basically, we're in this together. And so what this documentary has really tried to capture are 10 organizations that are working to fulfill the philosophy of Ubuntu. It's a beautiful film. It's rich in color. It's rich in sound with music and good conversation. And we had an Ubuntu festival that we helped sponsor, which was very difficult to help sponsor, from the States to South Africa, where the film was launched at the end of March. And then from there, it went on tour and launched individually in each of the 10 countries. And now we're on the move. We're back on the North American continent. We'll be really promoting the film throughout the States, throughout Canada and Mexico. I think it is in September, we'll be in Japan with the film, and then in various parts of Asia. We have a booklet, a 70-page booklet that we just finished on Tuesday. That will be available for the film or with the film. And there are several different products that are part of this. There's the full documentary. There is a shortened version of the documentary. The full documentary is an hour. The shortened version is just about a half hour. We have a really beautiful 4-minute film, primarily for use with classrooms of younger children. And we'll be launching this probably in the fall, so you'll have an opportunity to see it online. And then the other thing that we have is a music video as well. So there are 4 films that are part of this, as well as the main facilitators booklet, and then a booklet that just is informational about the whole concept of Ubuntu. So just to put that in front of you, if you belong to a group, Gary, I'm saying, wow, this would be great to bring to where you are. And it's true to bring it to any other place. So I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Thank you. Again, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but artistic bridges. So Erin, you are on.
Okay, can I share?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just get up here. One sec here. Okay, can we see that here? That would be my dog. She can apparently weigh in here. Can you see the activity books there by chance? Yes?
They're white?
Yes. So I'm going to move over from this in a sec. So essentially, Artistic Bridges came about, and I love the vision because what we're doing is we're trying to connect kids from age 4 to 18 around the world through art and through poems, through drama, through song, through any kind of expression possible. And this this platform was launched. It's available on the charter, and I'm going to go through it quickly. And basically what there's really no commitment except for we're looking for participation from anybody, any group that would have access to children and their expression. So I've just added here, we've got Sandals Caribbean Environment Kids. I'm going to show you just quickly what that's about in a sec, and then we have Jamaica. So first ever in Jamaica, they've committed. I had meetings with them last week, both Sandals and Jamaica. And it's going to be, I think, our first Caribbean contribution to a lot of the charter staff, which is really cool. Shanna Lee is a single mom, and I met her on vacation in February and just got talking about the charter. And she was saying she volunteers in her kids' school. And then she mentioned just through a conversation on one of our meetings that she participates in the Sandals Environment Initiative, which I don't know if any of us even knew that existed. But I'll just show you that in a sec. But so basically Artistic Bridges is a platform where children can, and obviously with their help of their parents and teachers, whomever, can upload and add to these books. So it's a global initiative where kids can be creative. We've got song, we've got Guatemala on this site now. Here's both of my activity books. And so if you click on one of them, I'm just going to move this out of the way here and minimize this. So this is the older children's activity books. And honestly, it was a bit of a struggle to revise them. I'm not going to lie. Hazel and I, with the help of Marilyn and can't remember his name right now, from
Shane.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Shane. So it was a bit tedious because we had to become more relevant and really change our visuals, change our language, change what we were getting across. The message is the same, but I mean, all these things need to be updated. So both the activity books are on the site. So if you look at this here, here's the children's charter. There's my wonderful children, Max and Quinn. They were the inspiration behind all of this. They were 4 and 7, now they're 19 and 22. And they've been an integral part of all of this. They helped with school presentations. They came, my daughter and Hazel's daughter, who's also 19, came to Chicago. So it's really a collaboration of many, many moving parts. And we don't have to get into this right now. This is probably a conversation for what do we do next with the Children's Charter. But here's the Children's Charter for Compassion. It was 100% inspired by the Charter for Compassion, and we've revised it. So it's, in my opinion, it's great. So this is just quickly, we won't get into it. This is an activity book, and it came about when I did a talk at TEDx Youth in Ottawa. So it's not actually just for children. It's for adults, maybe struggling with issues. It's illiterate adults. It's also new Canadians struggling. It doesn't have to be just for children, but this is on the site. We also attached golden ruleism, which is a big component now and a participant in the Charter for Compassion. So if you get a chance to go onto the Charter site, please have a look. It's available to anyone to utilize, to use in your schools, your meetings, whatever the case is. So that's the book. I don't want to take up too much time on that. And then if we go back to the library, I'm just going to quickly show you an example of what the artistic bridges can look like. So if you see here, this is the children's, so I'm going to say I work with kids as young as 4, some maybe even a little younger sometimes. It just depends on who's in the crowd. But this was the original book. And here is the epitome of artistic bridges. So my son at the time was 7. And I said to him, Max, what does a compassionate world look like to you? So you can see it's a bit of a hot mess, this drawing from him, but it's so perfect because he was 7 and he drew a picture of himself hugging the world. And this is what Artistic Bridges is about. It doesn't matter. It's amazing. How does it make you feel? Here is me doing a class visit. And again, please use these resources. And you can see now they're just a little bit more relevant. Here's my children here. And I think that everything we do, it gives a really good welcoming vibe if you personalize it. And I think that helps because at the end of the day, when something is taught or told and it's more of a curriculum-based thing versus an experience thing, it's a bit more difficult to get the results that you want. So that's just my personal opinion. Again, so that's that. So here's the Artistic Bridges idea book. So when you log on to the Charter site, if you go into this gives you instruction on what we need to do. And you've got links to the Charter for Compassion, Children's Charter for Compassion. And then we've got live videos here of young people inviting children and young adults to participate. And then here's the instructions. So I don't think this could actually be any easier to participate in. And that's the idea, is that we want this to go global and we want it to just grow. And ideally, we're going to end up with different books. So you see that we had the Jamaica, It's Blank, but then we have the Sandals book. We've got Guatemala. We've got different collaborative wings that are happening with this. So again, we go through this. It's amazing. There's been a lot of work. Thank you to Lucy Gray and Marilyn for putting all of this together, but it's really easy to participate. I'll just finish here. Artistic Bridges, connecting worlds through young eyes. And here's some examples. And I wanted to say on a side note, the best part of all of this is that you don't have to sign off on something. You don't have to really make a formal commitment except to participate. And I think it's a really good initiative, especially where, you know, teachers or educators or people at churches, whatever the case is, they're just looking for something to connect. This is probably one of the easiest, seamless initiatives that we could do, and it can grow like wildfire. So again, about the project, how to participate. We've got a quote here. Here we go. So here's some art, and it's so easy to upload. You can add voices and videos. So these are just some examples here. I also just want to show you quickly. Can everybody see this here, the environment? Because I wanted to sort of, I know I'm covering off a lot. We probably need a whole other meeting for half of this stuff. But this is the Sandals Foundation. And we are going to work with them with and put together an environment book with artistic bridges, and actually probably grow the Children's Charter and the Charter Commitment and Connection with Sandals Foundation, and they're all over the Caribbean. So it's just kind of a new, exciting twist on what has been going on. And this is all stuff, literally this happened in the last couple of weeks. So is there any questions about any of that? I mean, it's Marilyn, am I surmising it okay here?
Yeah, I think you did a great job, and thank you for that. I mean, we want you to just know this is happening, and anytime you run across a teacher, or if you have ideas about who we might contact, to let them know about this. We don't have any date on it. We launched this on Golden Rule Day, April 5th. So it's a very new project, as you can tell. And we're getting a lot of momentum. And you know, who knows where it's going to go, but we want to gather voices of young people from around the world. And the next step is that we want them to start talking with one another. And we're, you know, considering what that platform would look like in conversation with, you know, a young person who's interested in environmental issues that might be in Kenya or in the Cameroons, and link them with young people in the Caribbean or in Canada. So the idea is just endless in terms of, you know, what the next steps are going to be. So
I'll just quickly add, if you don't mind, on the side note of the Children's Charter for Compassion, if anyone is interested in having this implemented in their schools or your community groups or whatever, please reach out, because it's just an add-on to the Charter for Compassion, but it is more of it's geared towards children. So the classroom presentations, the tree of compassion, those different things are a whole different part that complement and work with artistic bridges, but more so the Charter for Compassion. So always reach out, and I'm available for discussions on any of that.
great. So let's open it up for questions. There's one thing that we'd like for you to consider, and that is the charter is very much involved with Encuentro Mundial de Valores in Monterrey, Mexico. And this is a conference that has been going on human values for 13 years. This year is a very special year because Encuentro is hosting the Nobel Peace Prize organization's conference. And so Encuentro, the Charter, and most definitely the Peace Group will all come together September 18th through the 21st in Monterrey, Mexico. It's going to be a pretty incredible array of people, organizations, and young people from around the world. So already 10 peace laureates have signed up, 5 peace organizations as well. And there will be featured workshops. 1,200 young people from around the world are being invited and hopefully sponsored by the Nobel Peace Prize group. and they will be in workshops and have an opportunity to interact with about 4,000 to 5,000 people that will be participants in the conference. And you'll hear a lot more about it. It's not going to be announced until the second week in June. So this is a little preview, so that if you're thinking of, maybe wanting to get involved with something that's really insightful and an opportunity to meet with people who are thinking about compassion around the world, this would be an ideal place to do that. And so the next time that we meet, we'll have a lot more information, but we'll start releasing the information. There's a really wonderful slide deck at this point that we're not ready to release, but there's a lot of information already gathered. There will be 2 huge concerts in connection with this, and the charter will have its annual banquet in Monterey during this time period as well. And we will be giving away the 4 Karen Armstrong Humanitarian Awards. One of them will be to a person who's very dear to our heart. I'm not going to make the announcement at this point because they haven't accepted yet, but it is a Nobel Prize winner who the charter has worked with for a while. So just keep it in mind, September 18th through the 21st. So anyone who has questions, I know that was like a fire hose of information, but apologies for that.
I have a question. I was wondering, that you talked about this Ubuntu film.
Mhm.
I could not find it.
Well, if Merida, if you could pull it up on our website and then share the screen, you'll.
Or send me the link, please.
No,
Yes.
I just want you all to find it because it's on our website big time, with lots of material associated with it.
Marilyn, it's Gary. I'm going to have to drop off at 7:30, but I just wanted to mention the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, which is in Winnipeg, is a fairly incredible project and building. We do a lot of work out of there in groups that I'm involved with, and they're working on building a digital learning center that's incorporated into the museum, which is really going to be wonderful. And so it'll be about a $15 million project just to outfit the building within the CMHR. And I think over time they'll be looking for content. So I would be interested in talking to you, Marilyn, and maybe seeing what we could do in terms of a proposal of, where could the charter fit in terms of some of the content it produces.
Yeah, I think that we'd love to do that.
Does that sound interesting?
With another museum and in Kansas, the city museum there. But even having an exhibit, Merida, if you can click on Ubuntu itself. So as you can see, if you go to special events on the charter, and then if you scroll down here just a little bit, you'll have trailers for the film. You'll have how Ubuntu, the philosophy of Ubuntu, fits within other religious philosophies and non-religious secular philosophies, what the meaning is. So there's little essays on that, and there's a lot of shorts that are available that you can see, and a lot of resources as well. And this will continue to grow as we promote the film. Marge is helping to bring the film up to Toronto area, and just for an initial showing with the 2 people who are up front in the film, Pato Bantan and Antoinette Rootsdotter. And for people who were fortunate enough to be at the Parliament, you'll remember that Pato and Antoinette ended our banquet there, and they're a mighty force in terms of music. But Gary, why don't we just make an appointment and talk about the possibilities? I think that, I think we could brainstorm a lot of really good things and then bring in appropriate people who might help us with something like that.
So
I would
you're
like
one of the more busy people in the world. So if you just send me a meeting time, I'll
Sure.
make the effort to connect with you.
Okay, I'm usually very good at this hour of the day in terms of time, so you can think of later in the afternoon.
Sure.
Because my day usually starts very early. This is my 8th hour of Zooming today, so it's but usually it starts very early, and then I'm finished with Zooming usually around 1 o'clock. So just keep that in mind.
And
Let's say you're out in the West Coast, so you're 3 hours behind a lot of us here. So yes.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it makes it very difficult to have conversations with people in India. And
It does, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just like to add here before we finish that there's the two most important pages of the charter are actually here, and it's our event calendar and our special events. So you should always, when you come to our page, you will find a pop-up of one of the next things that is important to us. But you can always go to that news and events, our event calendar. If you scroll down a bit further, you will see everything that we're doing in chronological order. Okay. And these little blue ones are registration pages for everything. So
I think and Marge, apologies because we took a lot of time, but I know that you want to talk a little bit about the possibility around a Compassionate Canada.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much. I just want to know your interest. So I think all of you have my email address. So let me know if you're interested. Or I think actually there were 10 more people who registered for the course, and I know things happened. People did let me know that. So I think I'm going to send out a sort of a survey and just sort of get people's sense of it. You know, I have talked to one of our MPs for those in the area. It's Leah Taylor Roy, and she's the prime minister told her make it happen. So she was trying to be here. She's now on flight from Ottawa back to Richmond Hill. So I do want to move forward with this. But I am really interested to hear other people's reactions. I hear about this, I know about this, thankfully. Others' reactions, anything that tweaked them. How do you feel about having Ubuntu come? Because yes, if we do this, there'll need to be a team of people that get behind this. So Karen, you are from South Africa, so you should have skin in the game for this. So yeah, and anyway, so just I welcome other people's comments.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
thank
so
you.
Marge,
Thanks, Marge.
Okay.
It's Karen. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt
can I
anybody.
just go ahead.
If you just email me and
Okay.
let me know where we are with this. Yes, definitely. As a born African, I would definitely like to be involved. Thank you.
Yeah, because
Thank
the
you,
idea was
Karen.
floated that we do something for Emancipation Day, which is August 1st. So possibly, it feels good.
Okay, I can also help with getting the South African consulate involved. So just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
I think there was someone else who was going to make
Yeah,
a comment.
I'm sorry, Marilyn. It's Gary. I was just gonna say, Marge, that we're quite interested in what you're saying there. So feel free to contact me, or
Thank
we'll
you.
try to be in touch. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm on that. You can also email me as well, Marge. As a matter of fact, when I closed, I'm part of the first cohort for the National Health Fellows, and I closed the meeting with Ubuntu. I wrote a piece about it, and I read it, and people were in tears. So yeah, I definitely would like to be a part of that for sure.
Okay.
And
love that.
Marge, I'd like to send you a really two powerful valedictorians, one from Columbia University and one I think from the University of North Carolina, were both from Zimbabwe, and their graduation, their valedictorian speech was on Ubuntu, and they are so powerful. So
Yeah.
maybe you can send those out.
Definitely, yeah. And Erin, I'm hoping that you can get on board. You can come up from North York. If we have Donald come down from Barrie, you can come up from North York. So,
Well, I'm in Mississauga.
Mississauga, okay, come on over the forum.
Oh, yeah, listen, it's a hop, skip and a jump for me. You just say the word.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
and I love the train, so the GO train gets me there real nice.
It does, yes. Okay, yay to public transit.
Yeah,
That's
So,
and the thing, and I'll just say one final word to all of you. If you wanted to take Ubuntu, we are licensing it at a very reasonable rate, but you can use it as a fundraiser and make money for your local communities.
mhm.
So just
Oh,
another thing to think about.
well, I was thinking
Mhm.
about it because one of the things I think that I don't think I mentioned before, but dialogue is very important, and I participated in a number of them. I always use film to start the dialogue. I
Mhm.
used a film called Skin Deep when I was doing things in the southern part of the United States with about racism on college campuses. And I did 8 of them. So I had this film that I used, and then we had this wonderful dialogue. And then here in Canada, we had the Citizen Forum on Canada's Future, and I was a moderator there, and my area was Winnipeg, as a matter of fact. This was back in the 90s. So that's a great way to start dialogue. I'd like to see the film first so I can see how to parse it.
Yeah, well, go to the page because there are trailers for the film that you
I
can
saw
do
that
right
there.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Well,
and
we're well
Katrina,
over
I'm hoping
time.
you're get through to from Pickering as well, that I have a sense that you would really get behind it as well, Katrina.
Great. Okay, well, thank you
Sounds great.
all for coming, and look for Marge's email, but also look for the newsletter from the charter that'll come out for this weekend, so you can get a little bit more information on some of the things that we've spoken about.
Yeah. And I'm going to encourage everyone, like, I think all of you get the newsletter. How about this time you forward it on to a couple of people and suggest that they also sign up for it? Like, we need this, we need to spread the word. So it's like, yeah, you read it, this was good, but this weekend, maybe you can put a little footnote in there, Marilyn. This is the week you need to spread the word. Be a little more active with that.
Great. Thank you for
Thanks
that
for that.
suggestion.
Yeah.
And we'll get it in our monday.com list of tasks immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you
Okay.
hopefully in about 6 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice to
Thank
see you all. Have a great evening.
Okay,
Bye.
good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.